All right, well, welcome back to Thin Red Line Studios. We're here with back again with Roberto from Ghost Holsters. We're also so glad to be joined by Jeff from Hyper Performance.
Hyper-focused
Performance Training. There it is. Jeff, you're an instructor.
Yeah.
Of firearms. What type of instructor?
So I teach firearms training. So basically, it's anything from learning how to shoot a gun for the first time, and then starting to build into competitive shooting or high performance stuff like that.
Okay.
And then the third tier of that would be now integrating martial arts with the shooting at the same time.
Okay,
Vice versa.
so it's like hand to hand is.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. So that sounds like a super well-rounded training schedule there
Yeah.
of everything.
Yeah, a little bit, yeah.
Now, this is your holster setup.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, obviously, it's a lot more than a holster. Full belt setup. What would you call that?
Yeah. So that would be technically just quote unquote, most people would call it a battle belt, or that would this would be my range belt basically.
Okay.
So just comes with a holster here from Ghost and the 4 mag pouches with one of them with a double magnet on the front. And then I have just a trauma kit since I work in the range, just an emergency trauma kit here as well too. And then an extra rifle mag here, where I put auxiliary stuff or just a rifle mag.
Nice. Now I noticed you had a lot of Ghost stuff here.
Yeah.
Roberto, I don't know if you want to take us through a little bit of, what we have on here and.
Yes. So this is one of the holster, the most popular holster that we were talking about before.
Yeah.
The best seller right now. So we call it either P. Either P because it's production and carry optic, because it's like for those like 2 divisions in USPSA. And as I said before, it's like pretty much a shell holster, but it has a speed holster body.
Okay.
So what it means that you have the same drawing or the same feeling as a race holster type, but you have a shell on it.
All right.
So this makes this holster so special because you don't have friction from the shell. Very easy to use, super safe. When it's locked, so that your gun is safe in the holster.
Okay.
If you want to draw, you just open the locking mechanism, which is very easy to disengage.
All right.
And when it's open, you're ready to go and you draw.
Now, Jeff, when you started this and putting together, not just this battle belt, but previous ones, what led you to Ghost Holsters?
I was going through a little bit of I had a bad car accident at the time, and then maybe like a month after, one of my close friends, we call him Frenchie, brought me over to Ghost.
Oh,
They introduced me, and they got me a belt setup. And
Nice.
I built a good relation from there, and yeah, here we go.
That's awesome.
So it was good timing.
Yeah, that's great. So when you're at the range, you obviously teach classes,
Yeah.
right? And now are these just open to certain people? Is it one of those things where you just make an appointment, or do you have like set schedules or?
Set schedule. So I also work for the Range Homestead Training Center. So I
Okay.
work for them as well. I'm also an instructor as well. So we have I have classes that I offer to the company. So then those are the structured classes.
Yeah.
So we have basically speed shooting fundamentals training. We have intro to competition and then intermediate competition style training.
All right.
And then the other side of that would be more like my hyper-focused performance training company. I'll be working more like solo training, small groups, very specified. But it can be anything accompanying from, like I said, beginners learning to just use a handgun for the first time kind of thing, build some confidence, or even, let's say, a mid-level competition shooter who wants to start shaving down some time or reinforcing his fundamentals to be better in terms of his performance.
But mostly shaving off that time. I know Rob was in here talking about a little earlier about shaving that time, and those like the magnets on the front of your mag holders. That's part of it.
Yeah.
That's wonderful. So when you guys are out at the range, what's some of the craziest things you've seen, at a training when someone shows up with equipment-wise?
Crazy as in like too much equipment, or
Yeah.
crazy as in-
I mean, anything. You can kind of spitball on it and stuff. When they show up and you think to yourself, oh, today's going to be a long class. Here it is.
Not necessarily. I kind of adapt it,
Yeah.
but I've had some guys that either don't have ammo or they don't have a pistol. So now, thankfully, since as I started competing more and more, I do have backup guns, which I use to say, hey, let's just use this one and see what you like.
Yeah.
So, but other than that, not really.
Yeah.
I guess because we talked beforehand and then we kind of discussed
Okay.
like where to go from there.
Oh, okay.
So yeah.
Now you said you shot some competitive as well.
Yeah, I did.
Now you've probably taken classes similar to this.
Yes, I did. I started when I was 19,
Okay.
18, 19 in Italy. So we had to go, besides all of that I said before about, permits and stuff. If you want to do USPSA, so in that case it's IPSC, so it's the same thing. You have to go through a course to be able to get the admission to the sport. And that is already a kind of class, because the first level of, the approval that you have to get from the association, it's kind of a class. And then I took other classes with other shooters.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm kind of lucky because, making products for them, I always have, the shortcut to have information or advices, But yeah, I had different classes, and I have a lot of shooters that are very good that they teach me as well. Like it happened 3 weeks ago, no, maybe more, like a month ago, that we did a class with a shooter that we brought from Italy.
Okay.
He's a European champion and fourth in the world in standard division.
Oh.
Giacomo, he's a good friend of ours, and he's a sponsor shooter from Ghost and from Tanfoglio as well. And he did a class for me, private, during the week. And then he did a class in Homestead with Jeff.
That's awesome.
Yeah,
Cooperating with Jeff, exactly. And he's going to do another one in February. So we are trying also to expand for him, just to be able to come in US and do something like that. It's extremely fun. It's great.
Yeah.
Yeah, that
And
sounds
for
awesome.
people here that they maybe have, a different mentality also approaching the shooting, it's good because, for example, the big difference between the sport, it's pretty much the same sport, but there is more interpretation, is more technical. So they have long distance shooting. They have more. It's a little bit more technical. Here is more speed. It's more fun. You have short distance, also long, but mostly like short. You shoot very fast. There is more accurate. So I think the combination is great, and to be able to interchange the information and the knowledge, it's great. So that's why we are trying also to create this experience for the shooters.
Yeah. So Jeff, speaking on that, where that seemed kind of like a younger, more school setup, where it's over a good course of time. Your class is the first time shooters can go to your classes. What's the background that had you start into that?
Well, it's a funny story. I went to FIU. I studied sports science and physical therapy.
All right.
And I got a degree in physical education and also sports science. But then, I was trying to go towards more the physical therapy route, and then I was kind of dabbling into the strength and conditioning training and or performance training stuff. And then I kind of geeked out about that. So at that time, also, I trained martial arts for over a decade.
All right.
So right now it's about almost 17 years now of martial arts.
Nice.
So I did a lot of that, and then I went to college and vice versa. And then I started dabbling a little bit with watching the John Wick movie and watching him train on the range, and that was really cool. And then one of the advisors for my internship for my senior year of my graduate, my undergrad.
Okay.
And then he was like, yeah, that's pretty cool stuff. And it's like, hey, we should go shooting at the range sometime and whatever. And then we did go shooting at one point. His name is Ed Downs. And then we decided to, talk more and then build a relation. And then he trains basically some NBA players as well too. So a lot of like Chris Bosh, Dwayne Wade, like people like that. So
yeah.
And then they work there at Elite Athletes Performance. They're one of the guys that helped kind of bring me up and kind of like gave the birth of Jeff Wick kind of thing.
Yeah.
And then at that point in time, after I graduated, a day after, I was going through another personal time, trying to graduate college and just a bunch of other stuff happening all at one time. And then I started to, drift a little bit out away from martial arts. But then at the same time, Ed Downs surprised me and said, hey, I bought you a gun. I gave them your information so that way you can go pick it up, bring all your stuff. That way you can, do the paperwork and everything. And basically I stopped in the highway and I started like, crying
Yeah.
because I was like, oh man, this is so cool.
Yeah.
And he said, hey, I want you to just here's a pistol, an HKVP9, and here's some stuff to help you out. Go train. Don't buy fancy stuff. And he said, okay, fine. And then that's where that kind of started. So that was 6 years ago now.
Nice.
So I started shooting handguns 6 years ago.
Wild.
But yeah,
That's
how
awesome.
that kind of started.
Yeah, I mean that type of training, and being dedicated and serious, that's awesome. Yeah. Now, speaking a little bit of the John Wick stuff, is there a gun or firearm for either one of you that's in a movie or TV show that you would want to own or do own?
I don't own it, but I would like the Sand Viper, which is a 2011 because I'm a big fan of 2011.
Okay.
Yeah, so that's a gun that and it's kind of expensive as
Yeah.
well. So,
Yeah.
but it's a nice gun.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And funny, yeah, same movie, but the John Wick 34, the
Yeah.
Glock 34,
Yeah.
just put an optic on top of it, and that's basically it.
Yeah.
That's been my dream gun for a long time, actually.
And own it, don't own it?
I own the bare bones kit, not the actual completed slide,
Okay.
but it's still technically it in spirit.
Oh, yeah, yeah. No, absolutely. Now, staying on that movie scenes, is there a scene in the movie where, as you guys are watching it, the first thing you think of is, oh, none of that's right? Like, I know in the John Wick ones, Keanu really got it right on a lot of things. He has become very proficient in that world, where you look at some of his stuff and you're like, yeah, that's how you're supposed to do it. That's how you should do it.
Yeah.
Is there any time you watch a movie and immediately you're like, that's not how that would work?
Yeah. Yeah. Same thing for martial arts too, though. But maybe it's also the martial arts eye too. Like a lot of guys are like, oh, that looks unrealistic. But I'm like, wait a minute. There's a choreography training, and then there's like combative style training, and then it's like, oh, okay, in between. But John Wick does it fairly good.
Yeah.
And then there's some other movies that are like, they look like teacup saucer grip, and then the weird, and then they're not pointing at the actual bad guy, and then they're shooting off screen, and then you see the guns actually not pointing at them, or like just off angle stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I always wonder how they can hear after all this shooting inside a place. So that's for me the
Yeah.
I always say, like if you shoot for real all the amount of ammo in a room or in a house,
Closed room.
Yeah.
I think you're not gonna be able to hear anything else for
That's
the rest
great.
of your life,
That's
probably
great.
without the earmuffs or
Right.
like that's the thing. But it's a movie,
Yeah.
like it's
Right.
okay. And,
Good.
yeah, but they're pretty realistic.
Yeah.
And I think that he does train with he trains with Taran as well there in
Yeah.
California. So he
Yeah.
he really did legit.
Yeah.
So
Yeah. All
it's-
that stuff looks wildly good.
Yeah.
yeah, I had friends even in Asia that they're like instructors and they do a lot of instructors for movies.
Movies?
Yes,
That's awesome.
like also tactical stuff. When they have to climb down a building or something with the ropes.
Yeah.
Yeah, those type of things.
Yeah. That's awesome. Looking at historical figures, any historical figure, alive or dead, that you would want to train?
As a student,
Yeah. As a student.
This is a nice question.
Bruce Lee?
yeah,
Yeah.
that's my grand teacher. That's why.
Okay.
Yeah. So under the lineage.
Okay.
So, I'm like, that'd be really cool for him to now start working with firearms, and then now the modern Jeet Kune Do and all that stuff that is evolved ever since he put some influence within the community, the martial arts community. I'm like,
All right.
that would be really cool to see that,
Yeah.
especially nowadays. He'd probably be about 80 something, but
Right.
it'd be really cool to see him.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Now, is there anybody that you would want to see wearing ghost holsters?
John Wick.
Yeah.
Yes, that would be great for me. I think.
You bet. That's great.
I'll have to grow out my hair again
Yeah.
so I can get that wig back.
That's right. Now, with all the training in the martial arts self-defense stuff, has there ever been a time that you've had to use it in real life?
Twice.
Twice.
Yeah. Twice and then 2 prepped.
Okay.
So the twice, well, I'll just say one of them. One of them was I was in college, we were at a dance group party stuff. And then basically some guy was mishandling a college girl, trying to make her drink too much kind of thing. And then he kept like pushing a drink at her. So me and one of my training brothers he's also a dancer with me too, also a Filipino brother too kind of thing. And then I did like one of those like checks. So I pushed against his elbow and I pushed the elbow away from her. So that way it pushed him off and he started getting to a fighting stance and I'm here like this. So I'm at this point, like I'm ready to either poke him in the eye or like hit him in the throat or just push him away and then run away. But we ended up just like pushing him away, taking her outside and just saying, hey, let's just leave. That's about it. That's the closest thing I ever got to that. And then the other one was a semi-road rage incident.
Okay.
So that was when I had to just prep my stuff next to me on my lap.
Yeah.
Next by the door. And then it was raining and then 2 people got out of the car and it looked really sketchy. And then I just decided, okay, the car in front of me just left as a right turn. And I saw 2 people get out of the car and walk towards me. I'm like, what the heck is this? And then I was like, you know what? The guy drove in front of me. I'm like, bye. I just leave. Yeah, that's about it.
Yeah.
But
Jeff,
you know what, Walter? My friend here, that he's from Florida, when I landed here 6 years ago, he told me never get into a fight on the road in Florida. Because here, everybody has
It is the Wild West.
a steel piece
and
in the
everybody
car.
has something.
Yes.
Yeah.
So he said, don't do it. If they stop, don't stop.
So you got to the States right around the time you started shooting.
Well, 6 years ago, maybe, yeah.
Yeah, oh, you got here, yeah.
Right?
Yeah, just about.
That's kind of neat little symmetry in the journeys.
Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah.
And now, are there any online personalities in the firearm world that you kind of look up to or like watching and seeing?
Yeah, big time. One of them is a big time. JJ Racaza.
Okay.
That's my instructor.
Oh.
He shoots for Beretta.
All right.
An Italian company.
From a great town. From a great town that I've heard.
So,
Yeah.
But yeah, I look up to JJ a lot. Not only that, but he's also a Filipino as well too.
Okay.
But, I look up to him. He's a very good role model within the shooting community, and he's a very marketable person as well too.
Yeah.
Very good personality. He's pretty humble, down to earth, and pretty chill dude.
Yeah.
He's a really good guy.
It's awesome.
I agree. He's a friend of mine as well.
Nice.
Yeah. He uses like our products for competition.
Good.
On the holster only, but he's a great guy. He's a very cool person.
That's awesome.
He's a great shooter because he's a world champion in carry optic.
Yeah.
Yeah, carry optic. So it's the
earned.
standard gun with an optic.
Yeah.
With a Beretta 92X. So he's a very good shooter. Very quick.
Yeah.
Very quick.
Now, are you in competitions as well, or are you strictly on the training side?
Competition
Yeah.
as well too. Yeah.
Nice. Now, when you go to a competition, do you have a different battle belt setup, or are you kind of running this as an everyday belt during training, but you're...
This one will be all around. So both.
Yeah.
So yeah.
Yeah, nice.
Yeah, usually the shooters, they use the same equipment in competition as well for the training. Yeah, to have just the same position.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah. Just put the reps behind it and stuff like
Right.
that too. So.
Yeah. Muscle memory. So you're not sliding that around. That stuff is kind of set in those positions.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mark it sometimes with a marker sometimes. So when I set up a new belt, I mark like a little marker or a pen. That way you can kind of find out where to actually put the mag pouches and where to position it.
Good.
So.
And now this holster here, it has the quick release, it has the hood.
Yeah.
But it also has a swivel on it.
So, no, this one, no, because there's not really a need, but you can adjust it.
Yeah.
So you can really move it once it's locked.
Okay.
When it's like all the movements that it has, they are already like set
Oh
up.
yeah. Oh yeah. Because this is a standing go time.
Yeah, well, yes, standing, or they can start also sitting down or laying down on different positions. So the thing is that once you find the position that you like, you lock all the screws that you have so the holster doesn't move. and that's a big
Yeah.
advantage because it's better if it stays like super like
Yeah.
fixed
Right.
in the on the belt. So this one can move, but it's by the screw,
Right.
just to be able to adjust it as in the position that every a single person prefer.
Right. So the biggest question is, you guys haven't competed against each other, have
No,
you?
no. I'm
No.
not at his level.
No,
No?
I'm still working at it.
No, because my thing is that my free time I do shoot, but I do also something else because otherwise I will never stop working.
Right.
So
Right.
I try to do before I was like an athlete in other sports and stuff like that. But
Is there like a handicapping system like there is in golf when it comes to shooting, or is it just speed and kind of run with your brung?
Kind of run with you, brung kind
Yeah.
of thing. But there are some shooters there that actually run like I think there's a Glock shooter. He also runs with like a wheelchair, and he has like modifications for the wheelchair and stuff like that,
Uh-huh.
and it's pretty awesome.
Oh yeah, when I was saying handicaps, like in golf, it's
Open versus
okay,
So like you
no,
get
of
like
course.
penalty strokes.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Yes, of course.
So in the shooting, is there like if you miss a target, it's less time, or
Yeah, target is made with different areas, and every area has like penalties.
oh okay,
So if you hit the center, there is no penalties. If you hit the, let's say, a little bit outside, is different
Yeah.
penalty. And if you miss it, it's very actually bad
Yeah.
because you're
You get more
supposed to get yes. And every target has to have 2 rounds at least,
okay,
and they count the best 2.
oh okay,
Yeah.
But it's not good to shoot 3 or 4 because otherwise you lose too much time.
right. And now in competition, is there a limit on how many? I know we were talking earlier in hunting. If it's a box mag, you can only have a certain amount of rounds. In the competition, are you running only a certain number?
Yeah, it depends on what division that you're at. Then that way you'll have specific numbers for a magazine.
Okay.
For example, let's say open division, right? You can have heavier ammo, like major rounds, and then you can have like big sticks and stuff like that, like 30 rounds, 28 rounders and stuff like that. For carry optics, what I shoot, it's about, at least my magazine for Glock is 22 rounds.
Yep.
So, and then at the same time, let's say, for example, it's production optics. So then you're running 15 per magazine. For production, it's 15 per magazine kind of thing for USPSA and stuff. So, but yeah.
Yeah.
And then those are the little semi-handicaps. Of, okay, do I have to reload more? Do
Right.
I not have to reload more? Or I have a full big stick of ammo and I can just shoot through the stage kind of thing.
Yeah.
Yeah. There's different kinds.
All right, now we will take a quick break. When we come back, we'll get some more products from Ghost Holsters and go over everything right back here at Thin Red Line Studios. So welcome back to Thin Red Line Studios. We're here again with Roberto and Jeff, and we're going to be going over all the new things from Ghost Holsters. We're going to be going through some of the products, and we're going to actually set up a full battle belt.
Yeah, great. So this is the Hydra P Plus, the bestseller. Good for every type of division, not for open, because in open division they have more, accessories. It doesn't fit in this holster, but you can use it. Okay, for carry optic and production is kind of mandatory because you need to have a shell. For limited optic, a lot of shooters are choosing this holster because it's very easy to use and very quick and safe and reliable, etc., etc. So the setup, it's pretty easy, thanks to the belt attachments we have. So we have this one that it's the same as the holster, which we call it Clip D. It's a quick release system that you can lift these 2 little lips here, and then you can open the quick release system and then you can close it, and then it stays fixed to the belt. It fits every type of belt because thanks to this little part here in plastic, you can move it up and down. So if you have a bigger belt or a smaller belt, you can even adjust it. And when it's locked in place, it stays fixed. It doesn't move. And then we're going to show you later with Jeff. And this mag pouch, it's, as you can see, it's a little bit more far from the body, so it allows you to be very quick in the sport. It comes with 2 different retention devices inside. We call it springs, because when you put the magazine doesn't fall off. So you can run, you can jump, and the magazine is safe. And you can increase the tension depending on the size, because this is universal for all double stack magazines. So it doesn't matter if you have a Glock or a 2011 or a CZ, it fits perfectly. You can also add the set screw on the side. You can adjust the tension as well, or put the two springs, as I said before. So the system comes with two forms, those two shapes, one bullet in and one bullet out. Later with Jeff, we can show the difference, but it's pretty much the way how you carry the magazine. So the magazine pouch, this is specific, is the new one, the 360 Plus. It's fully rotating, so you can adjust the rotation in order for you to have the best position on the belt. And this in particular it comes with a set screw here with an Allen key. You can move it up and down, so you can rotate and you can move it in different positions. And so this is a Picatinny rail. So we use a Picatinny system in order for the client to be able to attach even lights, for example, or other accessories. So you can remove the entire pouch and put your light on your belt, and you can turn it. So it's like a different purpose use.
Yeah.
And it comes in different colors, like we have pink, yellow, black, blue, red, gray. So in this case, we can personalize a little bit more.
All right, I like that.
Yes, and people love that. They make, for example, American flag. They take one blue, one red, and one white, and it's cool. And then it comes also with the two magnets or the one magnet for those shooters that they need. They maybe do competition and they have stages where they have to start the stage with the magazines on the table, and they need to grab the magazine quick and put it on the mag pouches. It's different when you have to put the magazine into the pouch or to attach it directly to the magnet, so it grabs immediately the...
Yeah, now that gets back to that hyper-focus training where you're trying to shave seconds off.
Yeah.
Where those magnets really come into play.
Yeah, big time.
Nice.
When it comes to metal magazines, the Glock magazines, we have a double magazine just so that way it stays in place a little bit better.
Yep.
So that way it won't just fall off when you're trying to run it and then doing the stage like that too.
Yeah.
So,
That's nice.
So, and this is the belt. It's we call it ultra rigid belt because it's very rigid.
Yeah.
So it's just to make sure that it's rigid, because for shooting, and when you have like a rigid holster like this that has an aluminum hanger like this one, when you draw, you need stability. If you have a soft belt, the problem it can occur like when you draw, the holster kind of follow the movement.
Yeah.
So instead of being very stable, it moves around.
Yeah.
Exactly. So with this belt, which is still like nylon cordura, we put like a plastic layer inside, so it's not possible to to twist it. And when you have the holster on and you draw, it's a very stable drawing.
Yeah. Well, let's set up and let's see if we can get Jeff here set up.
Absolutely, yes.
All right, Thin Red Line Studios back here with Roberto, Rob, and Jeff, and we're going to be going through setting up a battle belt. You guys are going to be playing a little bit of dress up with Rob here, and go through it, explain what we're doing, and how we would just set up a normal battle belt.
Yeah. So first is picking up the holster that you like, the mag pouches, the color, and everything like that. So we start everything with black, Hydra P Plus in this case. So the best version of the Hydra P, so fully adjustable. Easy. First of all, we need to try the belt to see if it's a good size for him. You normally try the outer belt first because the inner belt goes through the loop. So you have to put the inner belt in the loop, and then all the equipment goes on the outside of the belt because it has a Velcro that attach the inner belt with the outer belt. It's such a strong Velcro that it doesn't pretty much move once it's set up. In this case, everything is good because the size is perfect. So usually we start with the magazine pouch. We have the 360 Plus, the new one, And as I said before, they come with a standard clip, so they're both rotating. But the quick release has this, feature that you can open and close very quick, and it's kind of comfortable. Mostly if you change your equipment on your belt, maybe you have rifle magazine or a shot shell magazine or other stuff, so you can attach it quick. So I'm gonna show you how we attach it to the belt. So once it's set up for the right position, right now it's not in the correct position. It closes, it doesn't move, but the plastic piece that it's actually the adjustment for the size of this belt, it's in the lower position, because thanks to this little set screw here, you can open it and bring this part to the upper position, the higher position, and you lock it again in place. And then once you do this with this type of belt, you close it, and then it doesn't move, so it's fixed. Which with the other belt attachment, you have to unscrew these four, put it through the belt, and close back again, and adjust the different size with this little plastic part here. So you can put it in a higher position, like for example in this kind of belt, you put it in a higher position and it doesn't move. So the result is pretty much the same. Probably you have more thickness with the clip D, so you have the magazine a little bit more far from the body, but it's kind of personal. Once it's set up on the belt, technically you don't move your equipment. So once you find the correct position and you do the dry fire and everything, and then you never move it, because the belt that keeps your pants like up is the inner belt. This is just for the accessories. So we're gonna start with him to see which position he wants the mag pouches.
Opening to the back.
Yes, it's always advisable to close the belt in the back, so you can have the accessories in every position in the front part of your body without having the overlap.
Without having the overlap. Now, Rob, spin around there so we can just see that back overlap. Now, people do put it in the front as well, because there is a bit of overlap on this outer shell.
Yes, the overlap is important because we don't have any buckle on these belts. Everything is kept together by the Velcro, pretty much. So more Velcro you have, and it's safer. So in this case, even here, it's personal wherever he wants to put the magazine pouch in the belt, because in USPSA, there is no limitation in positions. For example, in IPSC, which is the International Shooting Association, you have to wear the magazine and the holster for pretty much all the divisions besides open behind your hip bone. So it has to be from here and down. And the same for the holster. In USPSA, so here in US, you can have also the magazine pouches and the holster in any position you want. So it can be also here if you want. So this is also about what he prefers. And once he finds the position of the first one, we can attach the other ones and also the holster. But it's very quick.
All right.
And also
is the holster just as quick to attach?
Yes, because this one that has the quick release system has the same mechanism as for the mag pouches. So it's once you set up the height of the belt, that's it. You click in, and it's very very easy to position in the belt.
Yeah, now, Jeff, when you set up yours,
Yeah.
Your setup is always the same?
Just about.
Yeah.
Yeah. The only part that maybe changes maybe the back. Maybe change a little bit of accessories in the back. We have like snack holder or like a headpiece holder and stuff like that, or like I put dryer sheets back there to help like wipe my mags when I'm done, or like a little napkin or like a little cloth. So
Now you just said dryer sheets to wipe down the mags. That's a little insider.
Yeah, a little insider thing.
Little insider tip there.
Yeah.
Okay.
So this gives the little polymer a little bit more glossy. Same thing as like a silicone spray.
Okay.
Like a soft coating. At the same time, since I have more stuff in the back, my belt needs to close front because I have more accessories in the back.
So this mag pouch can also rotate. So normally it comes when we we sell it. it comes with a tension that you can actually rotate and it stays fixed. But if you like a position and you want to make sure that it doesn't move when you run, when you hit something, or like during the competition, you just remove the shell, and then there is a Phillips screw in the center. You can tighten it and it stays fixed in place. So this is like also something very personal. Somebody likes to move them around depending on the stage. Somebody wants to have them fixed in the straight position, or so it's very easy. I can show you how to do it very quick. So you unscrew the set screw in the center, the one that allows you to adjust the mag pouches in a high position, like in different height. You can remove it. Then you take, as you can see, there is a Phillips screw here. You take the Phillips screwdriver.
The good thing about that is that when you start changing the height, is that let's say the magazine is shorter or longer, it gives you a better angle to have a natural wrist movement when you're trying to grab the mag for a reload.
Oh,
So that's really good thing about bringing the height up or down.
Exactly. So you unscrew it, and you see it's very soft. You can adjust it. Let's say he likes in this position. You can lock it in place, not too tight. There's no need. When it's locked, you're not gonna move it. And then to get the magazine back on, you just do the opposite thing, and you put it in the rail. You find the position you like, and you tighten it again. So right now, let's put them straight because it's.
Like you were saying too, when that's off, that's just Picatinny. You could attach anything else if you.
Yes, if you have exactly. So this is the international Picatinny. We didn't want to change any type of measurements, just to keep it like international, standard. So if you have a light or if you have any accessories, you can just slide it in, and you can even have, for example, you can put a light on your belt and you can turn it, and have a light on. Or any type of accessories that is the same Picatinny that you have under the rail of the gun. So every gun has the same thing. So said that, let's put it back in straight position. Then we can always change it later on. So we go back, we close it. Okay, now as you can see, it's locked. So to be able to put the other magazines, because this one has the clip D, we need the belt. Yes, we need the belt off. And you can put the inner belt in, so we can. So to set up the other clip.
That belt is actually really comfortable. I've actually worn that inside inner belt to the airport.
Oh
So
really?
when you go to TSA, take off your belt. Zip.
Yeah. Or if you go to the buffet, you can adjust it easier than the holes.
Here, watch that buffet.
There's a deeper meaning behind all this equipment.
Exactly.
Multi-purpose.
It's not only shooting.
now that belt, that inner belt, it's Velcro on the inside, outside as well? The entire thing?
Yeah, nothing's Velcro. Yeah.
Solid Velcro.
Yeah.
Yeah, you can really
Especially when it's brand new, you can really feel it.
Yeah, with a synthetic shirt, it's not the best. They're not really big friends. As you can see, this clip is a little bit more work initially, but once it's set up, you're not gonna move it anymore. So it'll take some time to set it up. Nothing difficult.
Once you get it set up here, it stays locked in place and it has a permanent home.
Exactly. He's using this type of belt attachment for the magazines, and once they're in that position, that's it. They stay there until they're gone.
Faucet, that way I can make it repeatable. Dry
These
fire training.
magnets here, how are these attached? Just locks in on the side tabs right there.
Yeah, they drill on the side here on the front side, front end of it, and I think it's done separately, and then you add those two magnets.
There you go.
Yeah, we put two magnets because for Glock magazines, for example, that they have the plastic and the inner part in metal, so they stay sticky. And each one is like around 65 pounds of strength, each magnet. So it's pretty strong. That's why when you attach it, you can't really drawing like this. You have to slide.
Yeah.
Because it's kind of hard.
They're pretty strong. I mean, it's to the point where you can, someone can throw you a metal magazine, you can just catch it, be like, woohoo, and then it just falls right in, it goes click, and you're like, oh, that's pretty good.
We're gonna need a demonstration of that. And,
I'll be for blueberries.
Yeah, please. Thank you.
So this is the other style of clip.
Yes, this is also popular for mostly for expert shooters kind of thing because they understand better that it's something that you put it on one time and that's it. You don't move it. But for some shooters that they shoot 3 guns, it's very important to have the clip deep because depending on the stage, they can change the equipment at the match. Yes, the position, like. Or for maybe someone that doesn't want to have like 5 different rig sets for every guns, which for us is not good because we prefer that they have. But well, that's also a reason, which is probably cool to have a clip D on it. So let's see the position of the mag pouches. Yeah, I would say there is good. Yeah, the distance I think is good. The rotation, it depends. Probably the first one is angled or the second. Now they're not fixed for the belt, but once you find the correct position, you say, okay, I like that. I will tie the screw.
I like
Yes.
to angle mine a little bit more facing back. That way it angles a natural part of my wrist. I wouldn't, see,
I got you.
that way you just kind of snatch it.
Yeah, usually they turn only the first one. Because naturally when you grab it, it's like this, the elbow, and it's shorter. The way in.
See what you mean? Okay.
And the stage I think in USPSA, the long range is 32 rounds minimum, no?
Yeah,
32, yes.
Anything more would just be more like a Oktoberfest, like fun match kind of thing.
Exactly. I mean, you can shoot more. It's minimum 32
Yeah.
rounds. Of course, you can shoot more, but it's not really advisable
Yeah.
because more time. So you don't need many magazine
Yeah.
pouch. Like 3 is more than enough.
3 and then maybe 4 if it's IPSC and stuff like that. So that way you're doing the lower round count.
Yes.
And that 3, 4, pretty much set up.
So if you like it like this, I can fix the this belt attachment,
Yeah.
and then we can put the holster. So you can try some drawings.
Really is.
First time Velcro.
Yeah, the Velcro is aggressive.
Because it's so long there. You hit other objects and you're like, boom, and then you get stuck because the belt's stuck too.
Pretty much all of them.
Jeff, how many of your students are running ghost holsters?
Quite a bit.
Yeah.
So for students, friends, and colleagues and also fellow competitors are all Ghost kind of taking over a little bit South Florida,
Yeah. Good.
which is a blessing within itself.
Yeah.
But I mean, most of my students end up buying Ghost anyways. The cool thing I like about it is just the locking mechanism.
Yeah.
As I teach at range, and I have a locking mechanism, no one can really just easily grab it. The moment I feel it, I'm like, hey, dude, that kind of stuff. I can go through your protocols. But other than that, yeah, it's pretty durable. I've danced with them on actually and stuff like that, and they don't fly off. We go up and down or do a cartwheel, and typically don't come off. With a locking mechanism, it's pretty good.
I think we did demonstrate a cartwheel in our class.
Yeah. Allison did a cartwheel.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was pretty cool.
Now, Rob, after we get this set up, you're going to do a cartwheel? Is
Not a
that what
chance.
we've
No,
heard?
that's not happening. We had a video of that from someone else qualified.
So once you push this to the limit
Mm-hmm.
of the belt,
You get your height right there.
yes, and then you tie them, and then you're good.
Now, you're just doing some fine adjustments there with that height that we were talking about earlier, right?
Yes, yes. So in this way, he's good to go. And even if in the future he wants to change the position, he just need to unscrew a little bit the four screws here in the back, and he can move them around. Because now, you see, they're one piece together.
Nice.
Yes.
Yeah,
So
that's
this
really
is the-
on there.
Yeah, exactly. Because as we said before, it has to be everything like super
Yeah, stiff and rigid.
stiff
Yeah.
and rigid, just to be able to not lose, tension and movements, wasting movements,
Yeah.
like like that's the
So just like what I tell my students, right? You're trying to build one structure and it stays locked in. So once you maintain that structure, whether you're shooting and moving, it's like you're being one with the tool, right? That you're given. So that's a big plus about having a stiff belt and having everything secured.
All right. We're in there.
All right.
Awesome.
So now the holster, he's gonna show the holster for the handling.
Firearms here, and trigger depressed. All right. So looking at the locking mechanism here. Typically, when we do that holster setup, it's obviously be behind the hip bone. But like usually, I kind of eyeball it, starting towards the pocket area, and then working your way forward or backward, whatever you kind of like, and then just making your adjustment. And then Rob will do the rest of the adjustment here. The same way how when I first met him, he did all the fitting there, then and there at the shop. So it's really cool. So let's go ahead and do that, I guess. There we are.
We
Make sure it's locked in. Just a little bit front loose, a little bit, just because we haven't locked it in yet. But we'll kind of play around with where the position is.
Okay.
Cool. All right. I guess just turn over a little bit that way, so that way Rob
yeah,
can
I
start
can.
adjusting. There you go.
Okay, this one is for the height.
I hope the mic doesn't pick
So
this
with
up,
these
but
two
you see that guy's
screws here?
profile? Jesus.
You see, you can- Okay, now it's in the lowest position. As you can see, you can
Oh wow.
rotate like this. So you tell me where you prefer. If you like more angle, maybe
Right there.
like this.
Another good thing to do is do that one more time, and then stand as if you're going to try to shoot a target.
Okay.
So you can see how you're going to feel comfortable in terms of where is the position going to be when I draw and vice versa. So right now we're working on that.
Now, Jeff, just when you went down to get ready
Yeah.
and stuff,
now
I've gone to
prefer like
ranges,
this?
I've seen people
Just a
that
slight
shoot straight.
forward cant.
When they set up, it's very rigid, very up high, very over.
Right about
The
there.
way you were just setting up there, you were low, you were in a, a ready stance, and almost like a ready stance in football, where you're
Yeah.
down, you're ready to go, you're pouncing. Is that a normal or more normal stance for you? Is that kind of what you teach, to be a little more fluid and ready to go?
Yeah, basically, yeah. I mean, you look at the comparison of like high-level athletes, right? Their knees are bent, they're in an athletic position. Where you're looking at wrestlers, football players, martial artists, right? Guys in jiu-jitsu, like or linebackers, they get into a knees bent position and they want to be able to move at a moment's notice, right? Either left, right, forward, backward, or diagonal. So that's why we want to get into an athletic platform. Now, they're rigid sometimes in IPSC, they'll make you start very natural and neutral. So then you have to learn how to get into your athletic stance from that neutral position. So it's good to learn a mixture of everything.
Yeah.
Right? You never know. I mean, you against the wall like this, and you start doing your stage runs. But yeah, it varies. But typically, I like to be more in that platform. How do you feel?
Look good. It's right there.
draw towards some of the corner where it's not facing anybody.
Is the retention off?
No, right now it's on. Now I just want to draw it this way.
Yep.
So that we can kind of see.
As you can feel, the holster has no retention.
No.
Once open, you just have to lift it enough, you know, to clear the slide. Yes. Otherwise,
Yeah. I'm gonna add one more thing here. When you draw, drop this elbow down a little bit and
Lower?
rotate your wrist forward.
How do you mean rotate?
So what I mean by that is when you draw,
Hmm?
when you draw the gun, just drop your elbow a little bit so that way this rotates out a little bit sooner.
Okay.
Instead of going like an L, it's going to be kind of brushing almost the top of the holster.
Okay.
Yeah, gun just
Mhm.
turn out straight. That's why if you ever notice my holster is kind of like leaning a bit more diagonal, so you see how it's kind of like shifted just a little bit more this way.
Mhm.
For that reason.
Just to break out of it faster. Okay.
But that's up to preference. So
Pretty solid. It's not going anywhere.
the good thing about it is like being able to lock it. And now when you put the locking mechanism down, you can actually draw the pistol or lift it by just using this lever. So that's like your two-step process into one.
Okay.
And now when you
And now you would
middle
just use
finger.
your middle finger as you're coming up.
Yep.
Middle finger.
Yeah. There are some guys who even do like very excellent scoop draws and by first just scooping it out and just going blazing fast.
so the scoop draw is pretty much you start instead of starting like this, you do like this,
One motion.
one motion.
Yeah.
Solid retention.
It's dance proof.
I'm not
All right, so that's a full battle belt.
Set up in 10 minutes.
Yeah, set up in no time at all. Now, first off, Rob, thank you so much for being a model. And from everybody at Ghost, Jeff at Hyper Focus, Thin Red Line Tactical, we do want to gift you that full setup for you.
Oh, thanks, then, right?
Yeah, and everyone else here. Now, Roberto, why don't you tell everybody where they can find all these great products?
Okay, so we have an online store. It's ghost-usa.com for US, and for international is ghostinternational.com. And you can find all the products, all the information, and there's a phone number if you guys need some, questions and stuff. They can always contact us anytime.
Awesome. And Jeff, why don't you let everybody know where they can find you?
Well, you can find me on Instagram my name is Jeff Wick. That's just no spaces, just straight up. My name is Jeff Wick, and also I'll be at Homestead Training Center, which is my home range I teach at, and also the facility I use, basically my home base. So yeah, you can always find me around there, Homestead Training Center.
Awesome. And from everybody here at thinredlinetactical.com, we just want to say thank you so much for tuning in and hope to see you soon.
Thank you. Thank you.